First day on a new track. Me and Michael moved equipment yesterday in here. We meant to get some footage of that. You might be asking why I've got the boom up, the door open. Mike's actually going to do some greasing on those boom cylinders. They're starting to squeak, and nothing bothers me more than squeaky cylinders from a lack of grease. So Mike's going to shoot a little grease on them. Kenny's down here cutting. The reason we got a late start to filming today is I walked through with the landowner and we marked each tree we're going to cut. See, here was some orange paint. Some really good trees on this job. Really good harvest. You know, we're doing a light thinning. There's a lot of trees that could be cut, but we're going through taking trees that are either past their prime or at the peak age of maturity, like that champ there. But you can see, like on this tree here, like we cut it down and, you know, it's cut bad the whole way through. There wasn't nothing left of it. It had a bad lightning scar in it. So trying to be very selective about what we cut and what we harvest. See, had a squirrel hole here in the top. So we're going to get back to bucking, and we'll get this dog laid out. These tight deck areas, this is where these skid steers really shine, for us anyway. I'd like to be back there cutting, and I fully intend on it, but a lot of spending time with the landowner this morning marking trees. Kenny got a good jump on the cutting, and by that time there was a lot of trees on the small deck area. Scooped up there, and when that's the case, when these trees come out, I or Kenny needs to be out here to buck them up, get them marked and buck them. Now normally, I mean, if it was something simple like oak or cottonwood, we could have Mike be out here bucking and Kenny and I could both be cutting and John be dragging. But with it being walnut and the cuts being a little more technical on determining where your cuts need to be made so the log will bring the most money it can, that's why Kenny or I won't need to be out here doing that. You got good chunks of wood like this right here coming out. That's a 12-foot piece I made. Kind of rounded the end there, trimmed it up. Then we had an 8 and a 9 above that. Of course, that piece there ain't no good. It's one of the ones that was bad the whole way through. We tried cleaning it up, and that was kind of a no-go. Just didn't work out. We'll roll this thing over here. We can get under it. Man, coming in at a funny angle. We don't want to tear the bark up anymore. We absolutely have to. We want those trees to stay intact. When we come back, we'll get this marked up. It's kind of a bigger, rough piece there, but it's a good sized log. Pretty good sized trees coming out. A lot of good clean butts in there. I need to round some up. There's a prime example of what we call wind shake. And that might even be from an old lightning scar as well. Just, you don't want to see stuff like that. The trees, we've had 2 or 3 cut bad like that so far. We'd rather not see any more cut like that, that's for sure. Trying to figure out another place to start decking these because we're already running low on room. Might put this guy right here in front of my truck. As long as he doesn't come back and hit my truck, we'll be all right. So now we'll go down here, get these others marked up, get them laid out. Maybe we can get some time to go back in here and get a few on the ground. Not a bad tree. Another one coming out here. Tomorrow really hope to be cutting in the morning. This working the deck is kind of boring, slow. Two coming out. Good trees, clean, uniform, good pile of logs, good stuff in here. Shaky one there. Good set of logs. Today's YouTube video is not going to be very exciting for sure. Working the deck is not very exciting. Now when I leave here, about 30 or 45 minutes, I've got to go look at another job of timber over here at Lake Lotawana, little suburb of Kansas City, Lee Summit area. We've got to go there tomorrow afternoon. I've got to be Platte City area to look at a job actually on an island. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Thursday, I've got to look at timber in Belton, Missouri. Friday, I've got to look at timber in Leeton, Missouri. Saturday, I've got to look at timber in Strafford, Missouri. Then we're already starting to book up for next week as well. We'll actually be cutting a job just down the road from where we're at. But next week already, I've got a job to look at North Leavenworth, Kansas, and Olathe, Kansas. So, won't be long, you know, within a month, these trees will be starting to leave out and you won't be able to see anything, and logging will start getting rough again. Some of the sap's already starting to come up in these walnut, which it's 3rd of March. I hate to see it. I hate to see winter come to an end just for the logging aspect of things, especially since we didn't have much of a winter. But that's what do? You know, some winters are good, some winters are bad. This definitely wasn't a good winter for working with all the rain and not enough cold weather. But we've got quite a bit of timber to cut on the books right now, so I'm happy about that. You know, some of this stuff, like you guys have noticed the stock market and everything, the coronavirus. Honestly, some of our export logs are starting to say the coronavirus is going to maybe take effect in some of those prices on that export stuff. I hope we don't see it. I think it's a bigger hype than what it is. I think the media is trying to put a scare factor in anybody. That's just me. Don't listen to me. That's my opinion. Of course, it makes me mad when it starts affecting our livelihood like this, but it's out of our control. Anyway, we'll get these marked up. Wait for the next turn. Probably the last turn of the day right here. See what kind of treasure John's bringing me. Really, all things considered, it's been a pretty productive day. Probably, I'm guessing 4,500 to 5,000 feet on the deck. Couple more good ones. Good trees, good trees. Ooh. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, you might have to pull up on that one. That'll do. Watch them things will pop you. Yep, good trees. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.